right, welcome back to Eyes Open Media. Prophet John here. Hope you guys are doing well. Okay, so what an interesting day we had. We started out, we were down fit, and then all of a sudden, yield curve continued to crash. And so pre-market, we were down big. I think we were down market, rally back a little bit. More bad news. We had what was that? We had the yield curve. We had the job report come out, and they were good. But the problem with the job report was that the job report was basically calculated before the outbreak of the virus. So I guess we'll see how it plays out really in the next month's job reports, because I'm pretty sure those are going to be really low. um, okay, the job reports came out, and there was some other thing that came out. I posted all this stuff on Twitter, so you follow me on Twitter, Instagrams. I posted all in my Instagram stories. I posted it in the Telegram group, and I also Currency 365 Crew is the Telegram group, and then I also posted it on Twitter as well. So all that stuff was posted on there. All the news that came out today was a lot of information. We didn't get that. I think people were looking for something evil to happen today, and the prophetic alert from Princess Bola. But I didn't tell you guys, but I told people on Patreon that sometimes when everybody's looking for something to happen, the cabal will wait a day or two later, and then it will happen. Okay, and I gave people that warning yesterday that I don't expect nothing to happen tomorrow. Basically tomorrow, which is today, right? Because everybody's looking for it, and that's not how they work. As soon as they're looking for something or has their eye on something, they will take it off and they will recode it for another day, or already plan to recode it for the next day after or the next day after. Okay, so if you see something sinister happens tomorrow or Monday, then there it is, right? And it's probably still coded for 3/6, but it was just the actual action was delayed on purpose, because it's too easy if it happens on 3/6, because everybody's looking for something sinister on 3/6. So that's how they do it. The cabal have gotten smarter over the years, right? And so, anyways, there were some other things that happened today, and I'm trying to remember what they were. Man, what else happened today? It says here that the market seemed to favor Biden over Sanders. No, duh. The Wall Street doesn't like them, right? If you're a socialist, the Wall Street's not going to like you because they don't want to live in a world socialism. Okay. Now, Wall Street themselves, they would like to be socialists over the people, but they don't want to live in a country of socialism. Okay, so they will sell off and run into gold and silver and move to an island or somewhere else that doesn't have socialism, right? Because they don't want America to look like Venezuela. Okay, so that's why he was winning. And if Bernie takes the nomination, watch out below. We're going under 20,000. Okay, immediately. Right, immediately. So we gotta watch here. But now Joe Biden is in that seat, and people have said that Joe Biden will have to resign because of scandals. Right now he has some health problems with his mental state, right? So it could be health problems, it could be scandals, whatever it is, and if that will then be the next up. And if that ever did happen, which it could happen this month, it could happen next month, right? And The Economist magazine has Donald Trump versus Bernie Sanders. So think about that. Donald Trump already told us that the markets are going to go down, and then they're going to shoot right back up after he wins the election big. And everybody, and I made it known. I guess it was on Patreon when I made that known. I'm not sure if I made it known here, but it was on Patreon. I made that known. But Donald Trump told you exactly what was going to happen, right? Donald Trump said that the markets are going to suffer until I win the elections, and then it's going to recover, and it's going to shoot right back up. Donald Trump is not worried about the markets. He's not worried about it. He already says that the markets are going down because of the Democratic Party side, right? So especially if Bernie's in there, and so if Joe Biden for some reason has to drop out of the race, then Bernie Sanders will take control, and the markets will sell off big time because there's nothing Wall Street cannot stand a socialist. And because they are free in Wall Street, they get to do whatever they want. They get to buy whatever they want. Not under socialism, you won't. Okay, everybody's the same. There is capitalism. You can't just create businesses out of thin air. You have to go through the government. Everybody has to be the same. And if your company makes a lot of money, we're going to tax you at 95%, and you get to keep 5% of that money, and the rest will go to the government so we can distribute it to the people because everybody must be the same. Ouch. So somebody that's sitting at home smoking weed and playing video games all day is going to make the same amount of money as you. So there goes the American dream. Right? The American dream will die with socialism. Everybody same. You get taxed 90%, 85%. The middle class destroyed. There won't be any middle class because why should I go to work if I'm going to get the same pay as somebody that's not working? And you know what I mean? So no one works and everything crumbles, right? And so because everybody's going to get a check. If everybody's getting a check for $2,000 a month, guess what? If I make $8,000 a month and 85% of that is going towards taxes to pay everybody else that's not working, and I only get to keep 15%, guess what's going to happen to me? I'm not going to be working, right? I'm going to just sit at home and collect $2,000 a month like everybody else. The dream will be over. That's why people, when Bernie Sanders wins, the markets sell off drastically. So we need to watch this because Biden could have medical problems here, and he's already dealing with medical problems now in his brain, as you guys know. But he could have some serious medical problems here in the next week or 2 or 3. You never know. And he has to leave the race, or he could have some big scandal stuff come out for about his son or himself or both together, and he has to forfeit, and Bernie takes over. And I look, if that happened, we were going through 20,000 Dow immediately, immediately, right? People will run into gold and silver. So yeah. But also the Fed and other in Wall Street and in the government have plans on bailouts now. So they have plans on bailing out companies that are suffering under the virus. So airline companies and travel companies and things like that are suffering under the virus, they're going to bail them out. They're going to send them massive amount of money to keep them running and going, and we already know where that money's going to. It's going to the 5% of the company. They're going to split it, and they're not going to trickle it down to nobody else. And a lot of those people are going to wait and resign. They're going to be like, well, I just got $100 million from the government. I'm going to, take about 80% of this, resign, and you idiots to, deal with this falling company. We saw that in 2008 with the bank crash, Lehman Brothers and things like AIG, the insurance companies. They were all bailed out, and guess what? All the executive got all the money. They got $1 million bonuses and stuff like that. And while their companies is crashing, and they got to walk away with millions of dollars, and they let their companies sit there and rot. And some of those companies rotted, and some of those companies are still here today, and they can't be trusted today than they weren't. Nothing has changed basically since 2008. None of these companies can be trusted. Okay, so the Dow was down big, and then Dow was down 800 points with 30 minutes ago in the markets, and then the Fed showed up, closed the Dow this low on a Monday. It's not going to look good. So let's pump the crap out of the markets. Let's inject $30 billion into the markets and close it strong. And that's what they did. So the banks, they made the signal, started buying the markets, the Fed buying the markets. Mnuchin is clicking his mouse and buying the markets. And within 20 minutes, we went from down 800 with no good news to literally down only 173, 172, and literally within 20 minutes, and there's no good news at all. So who would be buying the markets? There's no good news, and the trend is down, and the virus is spreading still with no stoppage, and everything is closed. Stadiums are closing. The music festivals are closing, are canceled. Everything is canceled, but yet the markets somehow just rallied from 800 to 170 within 20 minutes. That doesn't happen. We closed at 256. And now the good news is that our stocks weren't really affected by this move up, because I think a lot of people realize that this move this is the Fed buying and the banks buying their own stocks and companies and debt. So the four stocks had a great week. We had a great week last week on the four stocks. We had a great week this week on the four stocks. And I thought that I was like, man, the four stocks probably took a hit here on this buy up on the markets here, because this is not normal. This is not normal. There was no news out when this happened. All manipulation, debt, and basically sucking the money out of the middle class and just throwing it. S&P 500 down 51. NASDAQ was down 162. Now remember, last week they did the same thing. They just didn't do it as being like 400, and then we bounced, into this week, right? And so let's see what happens. Could we bounce, or do we just see more virus? We continue to see lots of bad news on the virus. Donald Trump's going to have to close schools here soon. Okay, so that's all going to affect the markets. Okay, oil continues to get destroyed. $41.50, 57 cents per barrel on crude oil. Crude oil is on its way down to $25. We've been saying, Breitling's been saying that. Kudos to Breitling on that. He might have his report out tomorrow. I don't know when he's going to have a report out. Maybe tomorrow or Sunday. I'll have it up on Currency 365. But yeah, crude oil keeps getting these traces going through the virus. And that's what's going on, guys and girls. Let me actually pause it here, and I'm going to get the latest update on the virus. I know I checked it earlier this morning on the video with Inez, but I'm going to check it again. Let me just check the new update. All right, so here's the new update, and we're at 101. So we added some, we added about almost 2,000. Okay, almost 2,000 new infected cases. Okay, so 101,917. And look at Italy. Italy jumped big time here to 4,636. So they're right behind Iran now. They're almost about to overtake Iran. So Italy jumped big overnight here. Iran's at 4,747, and South Korea is still at the second spot at 6,593. Okay, and South Korea on its way to 10,000 if the trend continues here. And so, same thing with Iran and Italy, unless something takes place and then they get this thing under together, right? Yeah, United States is going to continue to surge here. The United States at 317, and we're just now testing, right? Because we finally got the test kits in, so we're testing 1,000, like literally 1,000 people a day are being tested, is what I was told. So like 1,000 people a day. So our numbers are going to jump significantly over these next 2 weeks. United States of America. So we're at 317 now. Spain is at 400. Switzerland is at 214, and Japan's at 420. France jumping as well at 653 now. Germany at 670. Okay, so the numbers are jumping, right? Outside of China, because China's no longer basically testing. They're just pretending everything is good over there in China now. Okay, so the number recovery is at 57,000, and so it looks like if that continues, then within the next, by the end of the month, we might be able to catch the actual total infected here. Okay, so you might be able to. Okay, so let's see what happens by the end of the month. Can the total recovery by the end of the month, by the end of March, catch the total that are infected? So the total recovery might be able to catch the total infected. That would be interesting if that happens. Anyways, that's it. I hope you guys are doing well, and I'll talk to you guys later. That was a wrap up of the markets and an update on the virus. Peace out. God bless, and I'll see you guys next video. Eyes open. Bye.